Well, hello everybody and Happy New Year. Well, the big news to start 2020 is that we have another head coach. My understanding is that Ron Rivera has already signed a 5-year contract with the Redskins. He will be the 10th, yes, you heard correctly, the 10th head coach for the Redskins in the 20 years that Dan Snyder has owned this team. So if you do some basic math, then that averages out to be about a coaching change every other season. You'll have to excuse me, everybody, but even though Bruce Allen is out of the picture, I'm not convinced just yet that things are going to be necessarily any better in this upcoming season. I wish Ron Rivera well. I hope he does well. You know, I've always hoped that for any coach or any player who has come here to try and make a difference. But, the problem is we always seem to keep getting disappointed. When you've gone through this long enough, I've been a fan of this team all my life, and that's never going to change. But if history is any indication, if history is any lesson to us, then you'll have to excuse me for having my doubts about whether or not things are really going to be any better. I would hate to see Ron Rivera go through the same kind of fate that his 9 predecessors have gone through, coming here trying to make a difference, only to fall flat on their face. And not just coaches, people like, CEOs, COOs, Brian Lefamina, Scott McLaughlin, Mike Shanahan, RG3. The list is pretty long of players, coaches, and staff members who have tried to come in here and do something to change the image and the quality of this organization, only to fail because the people they're working for just can't seem to handle the truth. I know Bruce Allen was a big problem with those kinds of things. I know that he was here for 10 years, way much longer than he should have been, and all he has to show for it is a 62-101 record. He goes in front of everybody last October, and when a reporter asks him, why isn't Dan Snyder here to address the fans? Bruce replied, because I am. And then he has the audacity to exclaim that the culture with the team is actually damn good, despite the fact that under his direction, he only won 38% of the games the Redskins played during his 10-year tenure here. I don't care if he's George Allen's son. George Allen and Bruce Allen are two different people. He should have been let go a long time ago, which, that brings me back to Dan Snyder. How much do you trust an owner who allows such an incompetent general manager to stick around as long as Bruce Allen did and only win 38% of the games under his direction? He loses 100 games. Just think about that. Dan Snyder kept a general manager around who ended up losing 100 games. So, that just kind of reaffirms what I already know about Dan Snyder, what all of us know about Dan Snyder and his incompetence, which is why I feel the way I do here. Plenty of people have told me, okay, Dan Snyder's not going anywhere. He owns the team and he's not going to sell it. All right, fine. I'm not really stupid enough to believe that Dan Snyder would willingly sell the team. He's going to have it taken away from him. And if things don't improve, and I don't have any reason to believe at this point that they will significantly improve. I really would like to see the NFL intervene and do something about him, because this operational negligence has been going on too damn long. Okay, those are my thoughts. You can just take what you want, leave the rest. You can call me whatever you want. I'm sure I've been called that and worse already. But I think that's the reality. And when you're a Redskins fan, reality and negativity seem to go hand in hand. That's what we've dealt with for so long. I hate what has happened to this team that I have loved all my life because of a tyrant who 20 years ago had everybody convinced that winning was his priority and money was not. Well, he lied to us. Oh, that's no surprise. Dan Snyder's lied to a lot of people, not just to us fans. But anyway, those are my thoughts. Just wanted to share that with you as I update my petition video on change.org, and I want to go ahead and also share with you once again my experience from 2017 when we tried to have a protest at Redskin Park. It was called March on Ashburn. It was right after Scott McLaughlin had been fired under controversial circumstances, but I go out there for the protest and end up getting disappointed, as you'll see. Have a look.
Well, hey everybody, this is Scott Kennedy and this is Trish.
Hi everyone.
Hey. Well, it looks like this protest really fizzled out. I just got up here around 10 o'clock this morning, and I was told by somebody at the front gate that everybody is pretty much gone. You know, I can't help but say that's a real disappointment because of all the talk and all the hype that apparently was, generated from this. I certainly would, as a fan, I certainly would have expected a little bit more than this. And it's really a letdown, I think, in more ways than one. Because I wanted to believe that, we could make a difference, but if we're not going to have anybody show up, if we're just going to talk and not, have our voices heard, then Snyder's won. Everybody across that gate who has not taken responsibility for what's happened with this team, they've won, okay? Because in part we allowed them to by not doing more to have our voices heard. You know something? I personally am pretty disappointed. I don't know. I don't care at this point. Let them hear me. But you know something? There's some cars coming through. Hi, how's it going? Whoever you are. Not that you care.
Pretty sure those Redskins actually.
Yeah. Well, anyway, something.
I think they actually do. I think the players do.
Well, I'd like to believe they do. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm frustrated right now, everybody, because I took the time to come up here from Alexandria. That was a little bit of a drive, and all I see is this. I get turned away. I expected to get turned away by the gate. That's a given. But
and not say a word.
Not say a word, of course.
Said.
I'm not the media. I told the guy at the front gate that, but still, he's not going to talk to me. And I wouldn't be surprised if somebody comes out here in a few minutes and says something to us that you better leave. But fine, let them do that.
I wish they would.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish they would.
Yeah. You're going to arrest me for what? I'm not trespassing. But anyway, look.
I might get arrested if I go just drive through the gate.
Rush the gate, right.
Rush the gate.
Okay, all right. But this is pretty disheartening, like I said. And I'm sorry.
No.
This feels like
Well,
a waste of time. But, yeah, come say something. I dare you to. You going to turn around? Where are you going? Fine. They think we're filming them. Okay, they think we're filming them. Okay, so now they're going to go around and tell security and probably have somebody come out here. Okay.
What are we going to film?
Well, we're not filming.
Oh,
We're just filming us.
Yes.
I don't think there's any crime in that, but something, fine.
The only one
okay.
that's filming that way is their BS.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyway. Well, this is the way it is. I'm sorry it wasn't better.
Man,
Oh.
Skins fans,
Yeah.
step it up.
But, regardless, I mean, I can't speak for anybody else, but I grew up loving this team and standing by this team in good times and in bad. And I think the bottom line is this. No matter who takes over as general manager, Doug Williams or whoever, nothing is going to change here until two people in particular are gone. That's Bruce Allen and Dan Snyder. You call me crazy, call me stupid, but there's the reality we're dealing with. No, we're not going to win anything. We're not going to win anything. Because I've been listening to 106.7 The Fan on the way over here, and I listened to all the long, drawn-out 17-year history of this team under Dan Snyder, and how any kind of positives that may have, started up, there, just a few, maybe the RG3, Joe Gibbs, 10-year part 2, little bits and things like that. All that stuff, it just, in the big picture, it doesn't matter. It all came, just fell by the wayside. In the end, we get back to the same dysfunctional crap that we've been putting up with for the last almost 2 decades. Who's this person? Okay, you're gonna come.
Same guy who's turning around.
Okay.
Go.
No, he's not. He's leaving. Bye. See you later. I would have liked to have seen him stop.
Oh, please.
All right. Okay. Trish. Well, glad you came by. And but I want everybody just to, I just want to go ahead and file a little report here from Redskin Park. This is a pretty big disappointment. But look, wherever you are, hail to the Redskins in good times and in bad.
Hail to the Redskins.
Okay. Trish, nice meeting you.
Pleasure meeting you.
All right. I'm out of here. See you later.
Did reach a point, I think, might have been Shanahan's last season, where people were walking in with standing room only tickets and they were being handed club seats in exchange, just so they just want to put people in the seats. There's some of that, and I've been to games in recent years, and it's not full. Even early in the season, I like to go before it gets cold.
You don't want TV cameras showing empty seats. You don't want people writing about empty seats.
Right.
It only adds to the perception of failure.
Let's slide in Scott. Scott, go ahead.
Guys, how's it going?
Good.
Thanks for taking my call. You might find this interesting. I'm just down the street from Redskin Park right now, and I got here about 10 o'clock. It was deserted.
Well,
the few fans that showed up were gone.
Oh, yeah, the march on Ashburn, and I'm not surprised.
That's never going to generate anything.
That's not going to do anything.
No.
Yeah, I guess maybe my expectations were a little too high as far as, I don't blame the fans for being upset. I've been a fan of this team all my life. I grew up in Richmond, Virginia, and the only team I ever kept up with was the Redskins. I will die a fan of this team, but I'm never going to support this ownership, this management. And, I don't know why you guys even brought up earlier today about a win-win situation. There's no such thing with this team right now, and there won't be until Snyder and Bruce Allen are gone.
Okay, well, I don't know about Bruce Allen, but Snyder's a young man. He's in his early 50s. He's not going anywhere.
Yeah, and when Andy was referring to the win-win, he was referring to a public relations win-win.
Yeah.
To have Joe Gibbs introduce Doug Williams next week, that would be a perception win-win.
Here's how low it is. The clown is clowning you, as was transcribed by Dan Steinberg in the D.C. Sports Blog. Vinny Serrato on his radio show, 105.7 The Fan, said, quote, "A lot of the reason why I got fired, there was a lot of negative stuff going on. The team's poor record brought scrutiny to the team, and specifically to Daniel Snyder, who Serrato said Friday he does not like negative publicity. How did Dan take the media off him?" Serrato asked. "By firing me and bringing on Bruce." Well, yeah, but that was so obvious. I mean,
that was the definition of a no-brainer.
Yeah, and Serrato says if his name wasn't Allen, I think he'd have been gone already. Well, maybe that's the case, but
listen, Bruce Allen, I just made a mistake there. Bruce Allen's power goes beyond the football field. He's very much a part of this stadium,
right.
This new stadium search, this new stadium deal. Believe me, he is too entrenched in all the business of the Washington Redskins to be going anywhere.
Much more on this coming up at 11 o'clock. Our Redskins beat reporter for 106.7 The Fan, Brian McNally, will join us. And, yes, we will get to the signings. Nothing earth-shattering. This isn't like the old days of Dion and Bruce Smith and Hainsworth, some lesser-known names. And there's talk of Benny Logan of the Philadelphia Eagles possibly being signed. We'll find out more on that from McNally coming up at 11 o'clock. But it's time for Old School Andy next. 31 years ago today, the NFL owners approved instant replay. We'll get to that next.
I'm particularly fond of that last picture. It's too bad something like that couldn't actually happen. But like I said, everybody, take what you want from all this, leave the rest. But for me personally, I'm not going to believe until I actually see the improvements that people have been talking about for so long. Hopefully it is the beginning of a new era. I don't know. Time will tell. But remains to be seen. Wherever you are, hail to the Redskins, in good times and in bad. Happy New Year. All the best, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.